Hey everyone, Blue here at Bluebears Games, and of course we're continuing our trend of opening up the past Commander precons and then showing you what's inside. I know I'm a little late, but better late than never. This week we're going to be doing the Maestros Massacre precon from Streets of New Capenna. It's helmed by Angelo the Painter, and this deck appears to be a Spellslinger deck. Unfortunately, the way Magic goes, there's always something a little better coming up the pike or from the past that does what needs to be done. So my examples of this would be there's commanders out there like Kakar, one of my favorites for Spellslinger, so you can go do that if you want, but honestly, everybody has a different thing that they like to do, so let's just open this up and take a look and see what we got. Pull the ripcord, show you what's inside. By now, you might know what's inside, but for those of you that don't, this might be informative. Alright, so it's helmed by Angelo, and of course we get these little chits, and I actually just learned something recently. These are actually dividers that you can use. I actually just started using them as dividers for my collection, so that was pretty nice. And then of course the chits that are tokens or counters for whatever you need. Alright, here's the box, and of course I don't like these boxes, I've said it many times. They come usually broken by the time you get to them anyway. And then Angelo, look, that's not Angelo, that's somebody else on the back, so, and it's got yellow. Anyway, let's take a look at what comes inside the box. So, we've got our little, collector booster sample pack, which was really bad on the last one. Then we got this, which used to be a playmat. I actually picked up a small collection the other day that had the old playmats in them that teach you how to play Magic. You got the insert. This is the life counter. That's, interesting. All right, that's the life counter and then the deck. So before we open the deck, I'm going to open up the collector sample pack and see what we get, and I'll give you the prices for them. Again, the last one I opened didn't have a triome in it, which is kind of what I'm in the mood, looking for. So let's see what we get out of this one. All right, throw that away. All right, let's see what we get. Let me zoom in a little bit. Ready? There we go. And we did. We got a triome. Not a foil one, but it's a showcase one. And then, oh, good. I didn't get the Magpie Lady again for the 5th time. Nimble Larcenist foil is our other card. So, Ziatara's Proving Ground. It's not even the colors. It would have been nice if they gave you the colors. So, anyway, that's the first thing. I'm going to put them aside. All right, let's open up the deck and let's take a look. Like always, I'm not going to read every single card. I'm just going to show you what's inside. I'll read some. Again, split the deck like I always do. All right, so Angelo, 3 to cast for a 1/3. So, it's red, black, and blue. And it's hard for me to read the foils with the lighting I have, so I'll read off to you from the box here. So Angelo is 3 cast, 1/3 Death Toucher. Oh, I could have actually probably used that in the deck I did recently. The deck code. Alright, the first instant and sorcery spell you cast each turn has casualty 2, and what that means is, as you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater, and when you do, copy the spell. So that's why I said Spellslinger. It's based on having creatures out in play that have power 2 or greater, being able to sacrifice them so when you cast a spell, you can copy it. So it's kind of spell copy, Spellslinger, what have you. The secondary commander was Parnis, the Subtle Brush, so the same 3 colors, but 2, so it's 5 to cast for a 4/4. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless that player pays for life. I actually kind of like that. Whenever you copy a spell, up to 1 target opponent may also copy that spell, and they may choose new targets for that copy. Okay. That seems like a politics kind of build, a group hug/slug, depending on what you're doing. So, all right, so let's get into the deck. They gave us a little chat, which is actually pretty good, honestly. Cormella, Glamour Thief, Maestro's Charm, a Maestro's Theater. Obviously, it's going to have all Maestros because this is the Maestros Massacre. Deep Analysis for card draw, so one of the first spells that, draws multiple cards. Fact or Fiction, it's a good card. Frantic Search, Ponder, really good card. I'm actually surprised that they added that. And then I guess Preordain. I saw the list before I opened it, and I knew that these 2 were in there. These are really good cantrip spells, so... Talrand's Invocation, not really a great inclusion. I guess you could say it's okay if you can copy it and get 4 tokens. Feed the Swarm, enchantment removal for black is very, very rare, so one of the better cards printed in a while. Rite of the Raging Storm, not a bad card. Goblin Electromancer, it's good to reduce costs of your spells. Arcane Signet, Commander Sphere, the rocks, Demir's Signet. There's a lot of rocks in here. A lot of good rocks, too, so when I go through the upgrade section, you're going to notice that there's not a lot of extras I can add to that. Felwar Stone, these are stuff I suggest all the time. Is it Signet? Extravagant Replication. It's an enchantment, not a spell. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of another target non-land permanent you control. That's to help give you tokens on the board that you can use. You can sacrifice to the casualty. Flawless Forgery. This itself has casualty of 3, so you need a power of 3. Exile target instant sorcery card from an opponent's graveyard. Copy it. So spell copy. Sinister Concierge. Body Count. Draw a card for a creature that died under your control this turn. I mean, if you're casting spells to use the casualty ability, I guess that makes sense. Dogged Detective. Make an example. And of course, as I always say, if you need to pause it to read what they do, or I have the link to the actual deck that has a hoverable way to view the cards, you can do that as well. Waste Management. It's not horrible. Xander's Pact. I wonder if that has to do with milling cards. Audacious Swap. More Casualty. Determined Iteration. I actually have a use for this. I might actually, it's possible, I may actually take this from this deck and put it into my Perforos deck. It creates tokens, so. Spellbinding Soprano. Wow, it's cost reduction. Nice. Cryptic Pursuit. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your hand, manifest the top card of your library, so it gives you your 2/2. And then whenever face down creature you control dies, exile it. If it's an instant sorcery card, and you may cast that card until end of turn. Okay. Maestros Confluence. I don't really like the there are similar cards to this out of the Streets into Capenna set. I didn't really like them all that much. Cyrix, Carrier of the Flames. So here's an interesting one. This is actually the first and only right now, I believe, even 6 months later or 7 months later, however long it's been, this is the only Phoenix Lord. So it's 1 red, 1 black, 2 of any for a 3/3 flying haste. And at the beginning of each end step, if a creature card left your graveyard this turn, target Phoenix you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. And then whenever another Phoenix you control dies, you may cast Cyrix of the Flame, Carrier of the Flame from your graveyard. So it's also, I believe, it's the only legendary Phoenix. So it's not a Lord. I'm sorry, I meant to say it's the only general that you can use to do Phoenix Tribal if that's your thing. And actually, it's not a bad card. Smuggler's Buggy. I don't really like vehicles that much. Clone Legion, so more token copies so that you can have stuff on the board to use to sack the casualty. Dig Through Time, nice little spell to draw cards. Drawn into Dreams, Mystic Confluence, River's Rebuke, poor man's Cyclonic Rift, I guess you could say. And it only targets 1 player. Zinderspitz, I guess is the way you say it, Judgment. Army of the Damned, actually really good in Zombie Tribal. Or tokens, it creates good tokens. Bloodsoaked Champion. So I'm going to make this mention real quick. So there are a lot of different sub-themes in this deck that help make it so that you can have the creatures to sacrifice for the casualty costs. I'm going to, when I do my upgrade section, I'm going to show you other ways to do it and hone them ideas instead of having it so scatterbrained. Damnable Pact, nice little card draw spell. It's like Necropotence on a stick for 1 turn. Dread Summons, more mill, and then you can create tokens. Hex, removal, expensive removal, Damnation's just, you know, sometimes better. Puppeteer Click. Funny enough, I actually said that this card should be included in the deck I did last week, and it showed up in this deck, and I don't understand why it wasn't in the other one. Reign of the Pit. Player sacrifices a creature, create an XX demon, where X is total power creatures. Okay, so a token creator. Sever the Bloodline, exile target creature and all the creatures the same name, so a token. This is basically a token killer. Skyclave Shade. Woe Strider. That seems like a waste of a spot. I mean, sacrificing creatures to scry 1 when you're using them for casualty seems a little eh. I mean, I get that it has escape, but you're not going to have enough cards to do it repetitively enough that it makes a difference, so. Chain Reaction, it's actually good removal. Damage removal, I'm not a fan of damage removal in Commander. Double Vision, I mean, whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery, you copy it, so that's pretty good. Rekindling Phoenix, so the second Phoenix in the deck, and I don't know why they didn't hone in on a theme here. They kind of made different things that you could use to bring back, and I'm going to focus on that a little bit more in the upgrade guide. Squee the Immortal, it's actually a pretty good card for a lot of things. Bedevil, I think I actually suggested this in last week's video as an upgrade. I don't know why they didn't just include it in that one as well. It's weird. Call the Skybreaker. I don't really like this card a lot at all. Create a 5/5 and you can retrace it, but it's 7 to cast. Kest Dissident Mage. This is actually one of those ones I was talking about where there are better options out there. So it's 4 to cast for a 3/4 flyer. During each of your turns, you may cast an instant sorcery spell from your graveyard, and then obviously you exile it afterwards. I think this would be, I mean, I know that there are Kest Dissident Mage decks out there. I believe that he would be, or she, actually it's a she. How about that? Would be a better commander than Angelo for what you're trying to do here. That's my opinion, though. Mimic Vat creates tokens, makes it so that you can have things to sacrifice to the casualty. Twinning Staff, so if you would copy a spell 1 or more times, instead copy it that many times plus an additional time, and you may choose new targets, and then you can pay 7, tap it, and copy an instant or sorcery, and you may choose new targets. It's actually really good in this deck. It's actually good in, it's okay in a lot of decks that want to cast a lot of spells. It's really good for things that are like turns, extra turns kind of decks, because you don't really care if you're tapping out, because you're going to take an extra turn afterwards anyway. Next half of the deck, I really like that they added these filter lands in. They were reprinted recently. I think it was Commander Legends, and I really like that they're using them. I'm a fan of them because they come into play untapped, and they have the ability to tap for multiple colors. Some people are not. They're not really dual lands per se, but I like them. Choked Estuary, Dark Water Catacombs, Exotic Orchard, which is in every deck. Foreboding Ruins. Looks like they covered a lot of bases here. Shadowblood Ridge, Smoldering Marsh, Sunken Hollow, Temple of Epiphany, Lightning Greaves. This is where the Lightning Greaves that I was looking for was. Thought it was in the other deck. No, it was in this one. That's a really good card. Almost an auto-include in almost every deck for Commander. There are some things that, like, what's the guy that has Hexproof himself that I recently made? I'm having a problem here. Rakdos Signet, so more Mana Rocks. Soul Ring, Wayfarer's Bauble, Ash Barrens, Command Tower, of course, Crumbling Necropolis, Grixis Panorama, Myriad Landscape, Path of Ancestry. I like that they started adding these into a lot of decks. Thriving Bluff, and then the Isle, and then the Moor, because that's what they do. And then some basics. Then you got the special full art, like Treats and New Capenna showcase style cards. I'm sorry, lands, the 3 that they give you. The thick boy, the thick commander instead of the oversized commander. And then you've got some tokens in here. Goat token, Drake tokens, Lightning Ragers, Elementals, Demons. You got these. I like these. And then on the other side, what we got here? Copy, rogues, zombies. Okay, so that's the deck. Like I said, if you want to pause the video to read some of them, you can. Wouldn't bother me any, just so you can get through them. I don't like to read all of them off because it takes too much time, but that's the deck in a nutshell. It again, it's Spell Slinger with Spell Copy, and then it has tokens and other creatures that you can make or cast that are used for the casualty part of the deck. Again, as I said, there are other ways that you can do Spell Slinger that doesn't require you to have caveats, such as having to have creatures to cast the spells or copy the spells that make it better. There's things like a car who, while it doesn't copy or anything like that, you gain tokens from casting the spells, and then you can use them to generate mana to cast more spells. So, and of course, they gave you Kess in here. So there are better ways to do it, but everybody likes something different, as I said. So, you can go ahead and get this if you want. It's not something that I would suggest highly, but it could be really fun for a nice, even battle with your friends or a game night with your family. I'm not really a big fan of this deck. I'm a fan of the colors, and I'm a fan of what it wants to do. I'm just not a fan of the way it does it. So I guess I give this like a 4 out of 10. So anyway, that's the opening. Please do me the favor joining me tomorrow as I do the upgrade guide, where I'm going to focus this deck a little bit more, hone in on the ability to copy the spells and stuff like that. So I'll explain that for you tomorrow. Join me for that, and I'll see you there. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or just want to talk about the deck or any of the other decks and videos that I create, you can go ahead and contact me at bluebearsgames.online on Facebook. You can email me at bluebearsgames@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you when I have an opportunity. Or you can leave a comment in the section below, and I'll get back to you in that way. And then if you want to talk further after that, you can go ahead and contact me one of the other 2 ways. On top of that, if you're looking to help support the channel, there are a couple ways you can do so. The first way is actually just out of generosity. You can go ahead and do some donations to me. And the way you can do that is through PayPal at paypal.me/BlueBearsGames, at Venmo at BlueBearsGames, or through Cash App at $BlueBearsGames. The second way that you could help support the channel, this one actually gets you something for your money. You can go ahead and take a look at all the decks that I've made, and you can make a purchase of 1 or 2, or maybe even 5. I have 60-card decks available for sale, and I also have Commander decks available for sale. So if you're looking at them, you can go ahead and take a look at any of my stuff on the Facebook page or through the Facebook Marketplace. They're all available there. You can see the logo that you need to look for, and all those are available for purchase. You can contact me at any time, and we'll go ahead and talk about how you can acquire one of those. And the last option is the freest of the 3 options. You can do me the favor of subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. That way, when I get to my 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, somebody else will be paying for the bill. You can also like the video. Apparently, the analytics show that the more people who like your video, the more viewed it gets. So that would help me as well. Or you can share it out on your social medias, whatever one you have, and other people will eventually start subscribing and watching more videos. So all 3 options are great and will help support the channel. That is my time for the week. I want to thank you for watching. Please join me again next week for another deck build video, and I will see you all then. Have a good week.